Hey everybody, welcome to my usual me and welcome to my very first Baldur's Gate 3 video. It's on character creation. The community update just dropped a few minutes ago. I'm super excited to share these races and sub-races that they've confirmed that we're going to be able to play in early access on October 6th, 2020, which is only in 4 days. I wanted to wait to make a video because things change all the time, but now that we have confirmation, I'm going to go ahead and start making content on this game. So, Larian says, what defines you? Is it who you are or the journey you're on? In Baldur's Gate 3, it's both. Creating a character in Baldur's Gate 3 isn't the moment the world decides how to treat you, but it's the very beginning of the shaping of your story. Baldur's Gate 3 is a world with great player agency, and the most important character in that world is you. We've created not only a character customization system that allows the player agency to shine, but also a world that constantly reacts to how your character develops. Also, guys, by the way, if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, if you don't know all the rules, do not worry, because at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a place where you can go and tinker around with some character creation stuff for free, and you're going to be able to have a better idea of what you want your character to be before you even buy the game. All right, it says, and for those of you who don't play D&D, this is what the character is all about. It says, in Baldur's Gate 3, you can start your journey by choosing race, subrace, background, and class. In certain cases, you'll also get to choose a subclass, perhaps a deity. These choices will ripple out across the story, affecting how your roleplay throughout the game. So there's so much dialogue in this game that even creating your character creates an attitude either for or against your character with the other characters in the game. And then when you do one thing, it might change their opinion of you. And so if you do another thing, it might change their opinion back. So one person's gameplay will not be the same as someone else's. It's going to be so varied. It's going to be amazing to see the things that people do. I'm so excited. So you'll assign your points to 6 abilities. So it's going to be a point-by system if you know what that means. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Then you'll decide which of the various skills in the game you're proficient with, say acrobatics, deception, or stealth. Last but not least, you'll customize your appearance and how your character presents to the world. Will you be a beast-taming mage, breaking charlatan halfling ranger with a toxic frog as a familiar? God, that's a mouthful. Or a noble Githyanki eldritch knight who lets herself be seduced by the absolute, with the ability to psionically drag her enemies toward her? Or will you go for a more traditional tiefling warlock who's made a pact with the devil? The choices are endless. Now look at this process, how they created the faces for the game, guys. They brought in actual models that got close to the race that they thought what the race would look like. And so they say our character creation features photorealistic fantasy races. Look at all those cameras. Based on 3D scans of actors and models, blemishes and all, selected because their features roughly resembled the direction of each race in the game, and well, of course, for diversity and variety in the human-like races. Our team spent much of pre-production carefully selecting, scanning, and molding these scans to become the base heads for the character creation. Launching into early access is a total of 150 heads to pick from across 16 races and sub-races. So although it doesn't sound like we're going to actually be able to mold our face exactly how we want it, there should be quite a bit of variation in there, and you should be hopefully a little bit satisfied. And they're probably going to expand on that as time goes by. Elena Dobrovina, our lead character artist, wanted to shine a light on this. When cinematic dialogues were introduced for Baldur's Gate 3, we realized we needed to make a huge quality leap for our character art. We wanted to make characters look their best and put the bar very high. We had to be very innovative to make such a large range of heads and hit the quality level we wanted. While scouting for models, we focused on features that would fit our fantasy races, and we looked for faces that either had something unique about them or were very versatile to fit different characters. So it looks like some of the faces you're going to be able to use them between different races. It looks like. So I like that. That's pretty cool. They did a pretty good job. Eventually, we transformed the scanned heads into approximately 150 heads of various races that you can see in-game now, and that number will keep growing. Some of the scanned heads kept their features, but some others became a starting point for creating new faces. We also use scanned data as a learning resource because there is no better sculptor than nature. In early access, you'll choose from 8 races, each with their own selection of subraces. More will be added later, but for now they are as follows. Human, the most common face seen in Faerun. Humans are known for their tenacity, creativity, and endless capacity for growth. They live fully in the present, making them well-suited for their adventuring life, but also plan for the future, striving to leave a lasting legacy. Now, That's all they have on human. So it doesn't look like, if you're familiar with the 5e rules, there is a human variant that I was hoping to see. There's not an official rule. It's an unofficial rule. It's a human variant rule, and I was hoping to see that, but we don't see that yet. I would like to see the human variant come in, just simply because it gives you more customability, more customization ability. I would really like to see the human variant, but I don't think it's going to make it into this game. I would like to see it though. The Githyanki. The Githyanki are peerless warriors from the astral plane, known for their legendary silver blades and red dragon mounts. They seek their total destruction of Mind Flayers, whose ancient empire enslaved the Githyanki for millennia. Now, the one thing I would like to see, and they didn't mention it here, is the Githzerai. The Githzerai are actually the scholars of this race that are in limbo, and they're more of a monk-like psionic race. I would like to see these added to the game, but I don't know if they will or not. I would like to see it as an option later on. The Githzerai, I think, are really, really cool characters. Githyanki, obviously, this is part of the whole storyline, but will the Githzerai actually come into the game in the future? I don't know. I hope to see them, but that's just me. All right, so now we have elves, and it looks like we have 2 elves available to us. We have the High Elf. It says the heirs of the mystical Feywild. High elves value magic in all its forms, and even those who do not study spellcraft can manipulate the weave. We also have the Wood Elves. Wood Elves spend their reclusive lives in Faerun's forest. Decades of training in archery and camouflage are enhanced by otherworldly swiftness. And of course, we have the Drow, 2 different Drow, as a matter of fact. The Seldarine Drow, which the Drows are the result of the ancient schism between the elven deities Corellon, Lorathian, and Loth. The latter's treachery drove the Drow into the Underdark, where they splintered into warring factions. Seldarine Drow can be found seeking allies from all over Faerun, aiming to settle their conflict with Loth and each other by any means necessary. Now we also have the Lothsworn Drow, raised by Loth's cult in the city of Menzoberranzan. These Drow extol their virtues of their corrupt and merciless goddess. Loth marks their followers with bright red eyes, so the Underdark will learn to fear the Drow on sight. By the way, I hope I pronounced those correctly. If I didn't, I'm sure somebody will let me know. And of course, we have the Half-Elf, which is arguably one of the most powerful and diverse races in 5e. We have 3 different versions of them. We have the High Half-Elf. A touch of the Feywild remains in Half-Elves with this bloodline, and even those untrained in magic possess a hint of wild power. We have the Wood Half-Elf. Like their Wood Elf parent, these Half-Elves have a quickened stride and eye for stealth, yet many break away from isolation in Faerun's forests to explore the rest of the realms. And then we have the Drow Half-Elf. Most half-drow result from the liaisons between the Selendrine Drow and Surfacers. While half-drow inherit a few magical gifts, they aren't usually raised in the Underdark. If you like them a little bit shorter, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have 2 different dwarves to choose from at the beginning. We have Gold Dwarves, which are known for their confidence and keen intuition. Their culture of the Deep Kingdom values family, ritual, and fine craftsmanship. And the Shield Dwarves survived a long fall from grace, surrendering many of their ancient kingdoms in wars with goblins and orcs. Their losses have led to a cynical mindset, yet Shield Dwarves will endure anything to restore their ancestral homelands. And for you sneaky folk out there, they have 2 different halflings available. They have the Lightfoot halfling that are stealthy but social, traveling all over Faerun to make the names for themselves. And then we have the Strongheart halfling. Legend says that dwarven blood gave Stronghearts their hardiness. Resistance to poison and wellsprings of endurance, these halflings easily hold their own. But if you'd like to have some horns and a tail, we have 3 different tieflings for you to choose from, guys. We have the Asmodeus tiefling, bound to Nessus, the deepest layer of the hells. These tieflings inherit the ability to wield fire and darkness from the archdevil Asmodeus' infernal bloodline. Then you have the Mephistopheles tiefling, descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles. These tieflings are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic. Last but not least, we have the Zerial tiefling. Tieflings from Zerial's bloodline are empowered with martial strength and can channel searing flames to punish their enemies. So all in all, ladies and gentlemen, that is 8 different races, but all in all, with the sub-races, that makes 15 different choices for you to choose from. And that's super exciting for me. That gives a lot of variety, especially in early access. That really makes a big, big difference when it comes to keeping my interest. And because you can play this game again and again and again with different variations and try out different things. Super exciting. Let's see what else Larian has to say. Baldurs Gate is a vast cultural hub on the Sword Coast, attracting adventurers of extremely varied races and cultures, all of whom are looking to make a name for themselves in the city. In Baldur's Gate 3, the NPCs of this world will react to who and what you are giving, or who and what you are, giving your unique opportunities for roleplay based on your selected options in character creation. For example, prior to the events of Baldur's Gate 3, the city of Eterel just descended into the Nine Hells. So many innocent people cast without warning into the fire, never to return. The common folk speak of this hideous event with bitterness, with grievance, and with ill-tempered suspicion. So you can imagine that as a tiefling, being with an infernal bloodline and fiendish devil-like features, thanks to these world events, you might find yourself subject to mistrust and fear, at least more than the normal amount of suspicion your bloodline instills. Races more alien to your Sword Coast, like the Drow and the Githyanki, are so rare that to the average NPC that you'll find their interactions to be unique as well. Of the nearly 600 NPCs you'll meet in Act 1 alone, and that's what's going to be released, each one draws from their own experiences, oft defining how they approach a discussion or situation. So there's no fear of I don't want to watch this because I don't want to ruin my gameplay, because it's going to be different. Your reactions are going to be different than the reactions of somebody else. I'm so stoked for this. It's so exciting. Each of these races represent a staggering amount of narrative and mechanical complexity. In one playthrough, as a human, you might be treated with respect and honor. In the next, as a Githyanki, you might have to struggle for those same courtesies with the sharpness of your tongue or the ferocity of your fists. What race you pick will be the foundation for your appearance, but will also give you a bunch of cool racial features, including stat resistances, stat proficiencies, and potential other bonuses. All right, guys, let's talk about class for a minute. In early access, you're going to have 6 classes to choose from: Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Warlock, and Wizard. So there's a few in there that they're not going to have. Like, they're not going to have Bard, they're not going to have Paladin, they're not going to have Druid, they're not going to have Sorcerer. We're just going to have Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Warlock, and Wizard at the moment. They're going to add the rest later on. Each with at least 2 subclasses to choose from. If you're unfamiliar with D&D, some classes unlock their subclasses early at level 1, like the Cleric, while others gain their subclasses choice by level 3. What that is that you're focusing your talent into a certain specialty. Like if you're a doctor, you're a pediatrician, or you're a neurologist. Pretty much is you might be a cleric, but you're going to pick a certain type of cleric down the road, or a certain type of ranger, or a certain type of rogue, or warlock, or wizard. If you choose a class with an access to magic, you'll be able to select from a number of cantrips, simple arcane skills that you can use to dazzle and destroy your opponents again and again, and spells, more powerful abilities than you'll have limited uses of between rests. So yeah, your cantrips you can use as many times as you want, but your spells, you can only use them a certain number of times before you have to rest, so you can be able to use them once again. Just like your background and race, your class will also give you options in the world with roleplay. NPCs might recognize your skill set that you live your life by, and in turn, you'll gain options in dialogue and unique opportunities your other companions will not have. So once again, it doesn't matter what you pick, it's going to be different than what somebody else picks. I guarantee you, there's so many different variations that your gameplay is going to be different. Classes evolve as you level up, and each class presents plenty of opportunities for customization. Once you hit level 4, for instance, you'll get to select from a wide range of feats. Feats represent talents or an area of expertise that give characters special abilities. They embody training, experience, and abilities beyond what your base class will provide. Appearance. Within the Appearance tab, you'll customize the finer details of your character. You can choose from different voice options, alter facial features. Oh, I didn't know that. Hairstyles, colors, and beards. Hair and eye color will have multiple canon options, like what they're supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be. I'm using quotations. You can't see them. But these options can also be ignored, and you can just pick whatever you want from all the colors available. It's really good. Finally, you can add the finishing touches with a variety of tattoo and makeup options. You'll notice that many subraces have different appearances to each other, which add another layer of variety in the roleplay of your party. So maybe there's more customization to the face than I thought there was going to be, guys. I'm really super stoked about this, because that means you can make your face be whatever you want it to be. Early access and beyond. And oh boy, do we have surprises for you when you finally start the game, but we're not going to spoil those. We'll be expanding early access content throughout the campaign, and we have quite a few extra things up our sleeves, but since this update is about early access, we'll cover those later. Of course they will. That's enough about character creation for now. We really want you to discover it. We know many of you are very curious about future races that will be added, but with 16 races plus sub-races to pick from, we feel like there's enough content to get you started. Our early access date is approaching rapidly, so you'll be able to check out all of this yourself very soon. All right, so there's a couple of questions here, guys. It says, will Stadia have mouse and keyboard support, and will PC have controller support? Stadia features a beta version of the controller support. While we suggest playing with the mouse and keyboard if you can for now, while we fine-tune the controller for the future, controller support will be coming to the PC. Will the respec option be a one-time thing, or will it follow us through the game? Can we respec classes and races? And it says we're still trying to figure out different ways to introduce respec, so you can need to have a bit of patience before we'll answer that question. So what they mean, guys, is like if you make a bad choice when you pick something, can you go back and change it later? So they I don't know what they're going to do with it. They're probably going to give us a one-time respec in case we screw up and we get down the road and realize, oh man, I did not want to do that. I wanted to let's change that. Maybe they'll give you a one-time deal with the first playthrough. They say there's about 20 hours of content, but that's just for one playthrough. Like I'm going to be playing this over and over again, so I can play different variations and see what kind of different options we get with the dialogue. So, but yeah, you're probably going to have one respec to start. Or they might have something that you find in the game, like a potion. They're probably going to have a potion in the game and probably have a couple of them laying around. And this next one's super important because I saw in one of their devlogs they actually have like sex scenes and stuff. It says, will it be possible to play without romance whatsoever, like the companions trying to romance you with each other? And it says, who you romance is up to you. It's completely your choice. You don't even need to be friends with anyone, and you can reject any advances from characters in the game. And that's super important because, I mean, the sex scenes, can't have them on YouTube, right? So I will not be doing that on the YouTube. I mean, I'm sure people will be doing it on Twitch because it's in gameplay, so it's somewhat like accepted. But on YouTube, I think that's pretty much a no-no unless I want to go with an 18 plus rating. So I would like your feedback on that in the comments down below. What do you think? I mean, should I just go 18 plus and we'll just do it? Or should we go ahead and just cut that out completely for the family friendly side of things? You know what I mean? I'm not completely family friendly, but it's something to think about. Will the origin characters have a fixed class, or will we be able to choose one like in Divinity Original Sin 2? Same answer as for the respecking. We want to make some sort of respec available, but we're working out what the best way will be. Will crafting be in the game? If so, to what extent? Or will my bag get full of crafting supplies, or can I drop them off at a camp? There will be some sort of crafting, but it will be limited. When we equip new armor, boots, amulets, rings, capes, do they show on our characters? Yes. As you equip items, they will show on your characters and appear in-game and during dialogues. Ring and amulets do not appear. Okay, well, that's okay, though. Armor does, boots, capes, that sort of thing. But they're not going to do rings and because the size difference in the bodies has got to be hard to make that happen, at least right now. They might do that in the future, though. Oh, my God. Can I pet a dog and an owl bear? Yes, you can pet the dog. We highly advise against petting the owl bear, though. As for the owl bear cub, well, we'll leave that one a mystery for you to find out. You're probably going to get bit and probably take some damage. Will we be able to create a character in Baldurs Gate 3? Yeah, like this. All right, guys, well, that's all the races, the sub-races, some of the information, some of the questions and answers they had. Super excited about this. And, like I said, if you don't know how to play Dungeons & Dragons, if you've never played Dungeons & Dragons, I've got a website for you to check out before the game comes out. D&D Beyond, ladies and gentlemen, allows you can just go to dndbeyond.com, right there, dndbeyond.com. They allow you to, it's a free to join. It doesn't cost you anything to join. Just go ahead and sign up. And if you go over collections, you can go to My Characters, or you can create a character. Create up to 6 characters for free. And if you create a character right here, you can be able to just go standard if you want. I mean, and then you can randomize your name, and then you can go ahead and you can pick your races. I have some extra races in here because I've actually bought some content from D&D Beyond. You can create your class. These are all the classes that are available at the moment. I believe there might be a couple more. And then you can work out your scores for your abilities. In the standard, or the point buy is what we're going to be doing in the game. So you're going to pick point buy, and then you're going to be able to pick your stats right here. Then you're going to be able to go and do your character options. Your background options right here. Your character details. You can flesh out your character with physical characteristics. Personal characteristics like personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws. And then once you're done creating your character, to give you an example, I have Jaren Foam Tankard here. He's a druid and wizard hill dwarf. They'll show you all your stats right here after you've picked everything, and all your spells and all your equipment. your features and traits, your description, any notes you might have, and any extra stuff that you might want to add later on. But yeah, guys, go to D&D Beyond. They allow you 6 characters. You can change them, you can delete them, you can play around with the different skills, and you give you an idea on what the rules are going to be. Now, be aware you're not going to be the same as the game completely, but it's going to be really, really close because the rule set here and the rule sets there are exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, but they're going to be really super close. Alrighty, guys, and I think that's going to do it for this Baldur's Gate 3 video on character creation. I hope you all enjoyed it. I can't wait for the 6th to come out. I'm super stoked. We're going to be live streaming this for the first couple of hours at least on my channel as soon as I can get this downloaded and we can go ahead and get this working. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. As I always say, I am my usual me. You be your usual you. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.